Are you confused about magnesium? There are so many options of magnesium out there. How do you know which magnesium is the right one for you? Are you magnesium citrate, glycinate, orotate? Can you take them all? Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Dr. Carrie Jones. I am a women's health and hormone expert. And I want you to hit that subscribe button because you're going to learn all about hormones since they can feel like herding cats. And magnesium plays a role. So let's get started. Magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral. It is one of my most favorite minerals. It's probably my most favorite supplement in the whole world. If I was stranded on a deserted island and I had to choose one supplement, I personally would choose magnesium. I love magnesium. Magnesium is involved in more than 300, although some people say more than 600 enzymatic reactions. That means in order to get from point A to point B in your body, magnesium is needed as a cofactor over 300 or over 600 times. Let me give you some cool examples. When you make energy, known as ATP, in order to activate it, it has to bind to a magnesium. So if you're feeling pretty low energy, it's possible you don't have enough magnesium binding to ATP to give your cells the energy they need. You need the magnesium for the batteries of your cells. You also need magnesium in your muscles. It helps with relaxation. And so you don't get muscle cramps. It helps your nervous system. So it can help you sleep. It can help you feel calm. It can help if you have anxiety. Magnesium is needed in your heart. So it's being studied for things like high blood pressure. And we need magnesium for big parts of detoxification. Magnesium is the cofactor for something called methyltransferases. And we have over 200 methyltransferases, and magnesium is the big cofactor for all of them. Now, here's what's interesting. The large majority of your magnesium is actually stored inside things, in your bones, in your teeth, in your muscles, in your soft tissue. That means testing for magnesium can be hard because if you do a blood draw, that's not where magnesium is. It's inside the things. It's inside the bone, inside the muscles. It's not floating around having a good time out in your bloodstream. So you may have gotten your magnesium blood tested before and they said, oh, your magnesium's fine. Well, yeah, it's tightly controlled in the blood because the majority of it is inside. However, we do know based on research, a significant portion of people are magnesium deficient. And the only way we can get that back is through supplementation. We're finding it hard to get it in foods because of our soil. They just don't have enough of these minerals in there. Plus, we tend to lose magnesium just naturally from exercise, sweating, coming out in our stool. There's a lot of reasons you might not be getting enough magnesium. Either it's diet or the way that food was grown or just your own body's natural processes. So when we talk about magnesium, we talk about magnesium supplementation. Let's go through the different options. And I'm going to hit on some of the high points of these options to see what you may think is the right one for you. As usual, when it comes to magnesium or any supplement, always talk with your healthcare provider, but this is just going to at least help lay the baseline. So first and foremost, probably of the top two most famous magnesium, we have magnesium citrate, which is a very bioavailable form. You absorb it very well. So if you need to get your magnesium up, magnesium citrate is a great option. It's generally very affordable, generally found everywhere magnesium is sold. The downside to citrate, though, is that the citrate part can make it a laxative. So you may find loose stools, which if you have constipation, that'll be helpful. But if you don't have constipation, it can make it too loose. Now, when we mention that second word, so citrate or glycine or orotate or malate, which we're going to talk through today, all of it's magnesium. Everything I'm talking about is magnesium. It's magnesium with a second molecule added on. It's like its last name. So we have magnesium doing its magnesium job, and then we have the second part added on. So you get a bonus or a twofer. So, okay, we have magnesium citrate, well absorbed, pretty affordable, but can cause laxative outcomes. Then we have magnesium glycinate with the G, magnesium glycinate. That adds a glycine to it. The glycinate part, glycine, is calming. It's relaxing. This is often used in sleep blends. Glycine is also important for glutathione production, your antioxidant. It's important for creatine production by your own body and collagen formation. Now, the glycinate part, while well absorbed, does not seem to cause the laxative effects. It's not going to induce diarrhea per se. So if you want the calming aspect, a magnesium that's pretty well absorbed and gives you the less GI symptoms, let's call it, glycinate is a good option. That leaves me with magnesium oxide. This is another super common one. You can find it pretty much everywhere. It's cheap, it's available. It's generally prescribed if you were to go see your primary care and you needed magnesium, they would say, just go buy magnesium oxide. Now, the problem with magnesium oxide, it is not well absorbed. You're not going to get much magnesium out of it, but you will likely get diarrhea. However, why would magnesium oxide also be prescribed? It's often used for heartburn and indigestion. So if you pick up a magnesium oxide or somebody suggests to you, oh, you have heartburn, try some magnesium oxide. Yes, it could definitely help with that. Now, you still need to get to the root cause of your heartburn or indigestion, but magnesium oxide is a really great option for those symptoms. That leads me to magnesium L-threonate, which is kind of a crazy one. Not a lot of people have heard of L-threonate, but L-threonate helps get magnesium across the brain. That's sort of one of the things that's thought about, that it gets it up there better. Therefore, it's better for brain health, brain function, brain focus. So you get the benefit of magnesium and you get some more brain support as well. Then there's magnesium malate. Magnesium malate is thought to be good for energy, specifically for ATP production, helpful there, and has maybe been shown to reduce the pain associated with fibromyalgia because of all the muscular ATP production that we have that can decline with fibromyalgia and result in the pain. Malate is generally well absorbed and less likely to have the GI, less likely to have the diarrhea. Then we have orotate, magnesium orotate. This one has been studied with the heart, so it's more associated with maybe helping heart issues, heart palpitations, blood pressure. Always talk with your doctor. Of course, magnesium may not be the only support, but magnesium, if your doctor suggests a magnesium for your heart, orotate is usually the one they're going to suggest. It is also well absorbed. You're less likely to have the GI effects, less likely to have the diarrhea. Then we have magnesium chloride. Now, magnesium chloride you will generally find topically. You do not find generally the magnesium chloride as a pill. But if you've ever seen the magnesium oils or magnesium creams, it's generally the magnesium chloride form that's in there that you can use. So for example, magnesium oil on calves for restless legs, or the bottom of the feet and legs for restless legs, or a muscle spasm on the back. Magnesium chloride is generally the magnesium in those forms of topical preparations. Now, there's Epsom salt baths. Many of you are probably very familiar with Epsom salt. Maybe you love your Epsom salts. That's magnesium sulfate. So we don't generally do magnesium sulfate orally as a pill, but it is the type of magnesium that we put in our bathtubs and then soak up so we can get all the lovely magnesium in our body. And then lastly, I want to touch on milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia, this is magnesium hydroxide. So it's ever been suggested, again, for heartburn type things, milk of magnesia, or even constipation, magnesium hydroxide. So you can see, and there's a lot more types of magnesium out there. So I want to just give you a little run through of maybe the most common ones you've seen at the store, or you've seen, maybe your practitioner has recommended to you, or you've read about. I would say on average, the most common, again, is that magnesium glycinate because of its calming effect. People like it because they get the magnesium benefit and the calm aspect, especially for sleep at night. Or maybe magnesium citrate if they're having more constipation, need the magnesium, so they need an absorbable form of magnesium, but they're also experiencing constipation and need to get their bowels moving. Now, the average dose of magnesium, depending on the person, is about 200 to 500 milligrams. Now, magnesium, you do want to take away from food. Minerals in general don't necessarily play well with others. They can have a hard time being absorbed if other minerals are at play, or coffee or tea or fiber. That can bind it up and then you don't get it in your body. So if you're going to do magnesium, try to take it away from food on an empty stomach. If you have to take it with food, you may just find you need a little bit more to improve the absorption part of it. And again, on average, we're looking at like 200 to 500 milligrams of magnesium. That's probably the average supplementation depending on the person. So I hope this video was helpful and give you a nice 101 overview of all things magnesium. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I fully understand that in talking about your health, these minerals and hormones can feel like herding cats, and I am here to help.